Everybody, Dylan here, farming Alaska at beautiful Blankenship Farm in Point McKenzie, Alaska. Today's a good day. I have a friend. Her and her husband are driving up from Homer, which I think is about a 4-hour click, to pick up some cow rounds. Which leads me to today's subject. They run a beef operation down in Homer with the most docile cows you've ever seen, and they boast a very impressive 2.8 pounds per day gain on their grass-fed beef. I'm very proud of that, as I contribute in a small way, very small way, to some of that grass. They also run their own hay, but farming's a team effort, right? We can all take pride in it. So behind me today are two trailers. We got horse hay and cow hay. And I'll be going over the difference between those two. Now, depending on who you ask, who you talk to, these will have 1,000 different definitions. This is just a hay farmer and livestock owner's definition. But in this case, the only difference between this cow hay, and you can still see there's a little bit of green in there, not much, and this horse hay is that they're that's a year old. You see it's got some funk on the outside, and that is from this year. Now, objectively, horse hay and cow hay are terrible definitions. I didn't invent them, I just walked into it. But it's a quick way to tell people, hey, this is horse hay. High quality, low or no weeds, low moisture, this year's cutting hay. I know in the lower 48 y'all have first cutting, second cutting, third, fourth. Lucky you, we get 1, maybe 2 up here, so that generally doesn't play a part. And cow hay is just a quick way to say, this ain't my best stuff, but it's probably okay for cows. The problem is what made it cow hay, right? And the hay you saw outside, that cow hay is the same as horse hay, just happens to be a year old. It sat in a tube line for a year, so moisture creeps in, there's holes, birds peck at it, so it lowers the quality a bit, and it's not something I'm comfortable selling as horse hay. But what you should ask your farmer, if you're curious, on cow hay as a feed choice is, okay, why is it cow hay? Is it just a year old? If that's the case, it's probably good stuff. Did it get rained on? Okay, well, if it got rained on, there's several definitions, right? Well, was it rained on the ground? If that's the case, it's going to be lower quality. Was it rained on after it got baled up? Well, then it's probably okay. It's probably fine. Just got a little rain on the outside and you'll have a little rind. Cow hay could also mean it's this year's cutting, but that part of the field just had a lot of weeds in it, or I didn't fertilize that part, or it's this year's cutting, I just baled it up at 30% moisture because the rains were coming. So cow hay just means a lot of things, and as a consumer, your farm will be happy to tell you about it, and then you can determine if that's right for you. Horse hay, when people ask for horse hay, they're generally just looking for, I want no question about it, this is the highest quality hay you have. And that's fine. That's a much easier definition than cow hay. And then we get into bedding hay, which is not something I really dabble in. But that's so bad even a cow wouldn't eat it. You know, and I don't go there. Generally, if the bale's that bad, I don't even sell it. I just give it away if someone even wants it. So I'll go ahead and start up a tractor and open one of these cow rounds open so you can see what it looks like. I have to jump the tractor. Quick review, these NOCO Boost Pros, this one's a 3000 amp, 12 volt, lifesaver, especially up here in Alaska where the winters are very hard on batteries. You know what, I've got the camera out, I might as well show you how easy it is. I used to use jump packs, you know, like those old semi packs, but they're heavy and I kept running over them. This guy, you just hook him up, turn the power button on, there you go, it's got a nice little reader there. Hop into the old 7410. Sometimes I got to use two. We'll see. What I like about these packs is, you know, when the old man's running them or forgets to take them off, generally they'll stay on the tractor and you don't run them over. Truthfully, I'm not affiliated with NOCO at all, but truly it's one of the better tools I've ever bought. And I use it almost daily in the winter. There's just too many tractors and not enough trickle chargers, so you're gonna use it. Lightweight, fits in a truck. One charge will usually last you 2 vehicles. So why buy cow hay? And oh, I forgot I had to plow on this guy. It's cheaper. In this state, it runs almost 100% cheaper than your horse hay. And for the less squeamish or more ag familiar people, that's not a bad option. Clearly I'm a hay farmer, I want you to buy the horse hay, but I'm just being honest. Okay, so I had this bale and it's just here because my son really wanted to play with some hay, so I'm going to scoop it up. This is what I am selling right now. It's cow hay. It was randomly picked. I used to be really squeamish, even just having cow hay, and honestly, it's not something I advertise. And this is more for the hay farmer side of things, not the consumer side. But I only sell it to people I trust, who are familiar with the concept, because reputation is everything, and someone might just end up buying it because they think it's cheaper and then complain because it's not what they expected. So it's not something I actively make, it's not something I actively sell. But that being said, there's been enough demand this year with longer term customers, people I trust, and they've made me not so shy and squeamish about it. It's part of farming. Not every bale's a winner, so, but every bale is usable, right? But if you're just getting into farming, maybe keep it in your back pocket until you get an established customer base. Like up here, no one is really used to the concept of baleage or sweet hay or silage. So that's another product I don't actively make a lot of and I don't actively advertise, but same deal. For those long-term customers, I like to present them with all options that might work for their farm and their operation. And I have some customers who like the silage. Okay, so we'll cut this cow hay open and I'll show you what you can kind of expect. In this case, the technical definition is this is a year-old hay. It is marketed as cow hay though, depends on who you're buying it from, you gotta ask them. But I'll show you what to expect. Number one, it's gonna have a rind. I've seen that rind be anywhere from 1 inch to 2 inches, sometimes even 6. It'll be a bit misshapen. It's been sitting for a year. This right here is the field spot, so that's where it sat and moisture accumulated or leaked in or whatever, but that field spot is generally not usable either. Okay, so the plastic's off. And you can see this is damp. Doesn't look so good. It'll smell earthy. The nose always knows. You can smell if a bale isn't feedable, I guarantee you. But in this case, it just smells like earth, soil. Interesting thing I did. I read a lot about, you know, should I use green plastic or white plastic? Well, let me just show you. That's from the white plastic. That's from the green plastic. You can almost see stripes. So if you're trying to keep it dry, white's the way to go. So again, this doesn't look very good, right? You got some mold and it's wet. But here's where the magic happens. There comes the rind. And when it's this old, that rind kind of fuses together anyway, making removal easy. Usually I actually just use the tractor, but I wanted to film it so you guys know I'm not lying. Whoop. Okay. So what we're left with, again, is not what I would consider high quality. But you can see there's quite a bit of green. There's no dust. It's just older hay. Smells like old grass. So there you go. You end up wasting a lot. I say waste. If you're not using herbicide, that's great compost. And depending on your animal, a nice plaything. So that's it. And please, I'm not advocating that cow hay is just as good as horse hay or whatever. You know, at the end of the day, I'm a hay farmer. I want to sell quality hay for a bigger price. But I do want to let people know that that's generally an option, is you can get cow hay for a lot cheaper. As always, you know, consult your vet, consult your animals. At the end of the day, I just want to get more information out there so you can make a decision that benefits your operation and gets you into ag. And I also just wanted to illustrate, no matter how good of a farmer or whatever you are, you'll always have leftovers or non-horse quality bales in the mix. And there's no bad bales. You can find a use for them, and if you can, other people sure as heck can. So I didn't make this video to say you should go out and immediately go buy cow hay, because it's the same thing as horse hay and it's cheaper. I just want to get more information out there so you can make the right decision for your operation. And at the end of the day, if you talk to your farmer, he can tell you everything you need to know. You should, anyway. If he's not, go find a new farmer. And I also want to make this video just to show that nothing goes to waste. There isn't a bale so bad I haven't found a use for it. And whatever you take from your field, it should have a purpose. If you guys want, and when I go feed the horses next, I'll cut open a horse quality one and show you. It looks like that. It's just green and there's no rind to it. All right, well, that's been just a quick difference between cow and horse hay, both of which I think are terrible definitions. But to recap, horse hay is generally low moisture. If it's in a round bale, you know, it depends, square, round, whatever. But generally under 15% moisture. From that season, whether it's first, second, third cutting, no weeds, and an identifiable species or mix of species like Timothy brome is what I do. It could be alfalfa. Whereas cow hay, the only really way to know what cow hay is to ask the guy who made it. It could be year-old horse hay, or it could be horse hay that got rained on, or it could be purposely made cow hay. We don't have that big of a market for it in Alaska, so that's really never the case here, at least in my area. All right. Thanks for that little hay geek out. Please be sure to, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you did like it. And I'll see you around the farm.